Hey traders, this is Ron. Happy Sunday. Hope you guys are enjoying the weekend. As always, everything in this presentation is for educational purposes only. All right, we're going to kick off here with the Qs. Fresh new all-time highs. If I zoom out, there was a year ago. A year ago, actually, we were in here in November. Then we went to the December lows, and now here we sit at all-time highs. The Qs were below 145 when they were trying to scare everybody that the world was going to end. Now we're at 202. One more time, stick your fingers in your ear and ignore all those talking yo-yos. Here is the SPY. Fresh new all-time highs, right? Now, if we go to the IWM, which is the Russell 2000, and I zoom out here, remember they are not at new all-time highs. Back here in September a year ago was their peak. We're getting close. We still want that 161. If the small and mid caps get some momentum here, this could be really bullish for the market. Now, the mid caps via MDY, they did break out over those previous highs from May and July, and then back here in September. They broke out, back testing, and now they're bouncing. This is looking pretty good. Overall, bulls have the edge, whether it's daily or weekly charts on all of the index ETFs, SPY, Qs, diamonds, Russell, midcaps. But of course, the SPY, the diamonds, and the Qs do look best. All right, now I got some questions last week about watching stocks set to soar into year end. We are in one of the two best times of the entire year for trading, in my opinion. Right now we have the seasonal rally, which is underway. Markets breaking out to new highs day after day after day. And then we have the beginning of January. I'm going to hold an event this Wednesday, November 20th. That's just in 3 days. I put it together really quickly. I told you guys to watch out for the video, so here it is. You can register at the bottom of this video. If you got this by email, register in the email. There is a hard cap at 500 seats. I can't have any, if the 501st person will not get in. So please register ASAP. It will send you an email reminder as well. And this is how, and this isn't rocket science, I can show you stocks like Disney. And you would say, well, wouldn't it have been nice to know that Disney would go from 133 all the way up to 150, right? Well, using seasonality, knowing when the big money typically comes into a stock, the earnings gap up was in the window. The end of October, beginning of November, the tide turns for Disney. Overall, the summer is not kind to Disney, and you basically saw that. Well, this is how you know. Using the stock's own historical track record is our secret weapon. The options during this period, knowing right before the earnings, even post earnings, up as much as 100%. That means if you paid, for example, if I paid $5 a contract, which is 500 bucks, it's worth 1,000. Pretty simple to follow along with. So register for this event. We'll send you a confirmation email, and then you'll be set to go Wednesday, noon Eastern. And then I'll show you not only Disney, but I'll show you others as well that are set to soar. It's just a wonderful time of year for trading overall. Now, let's get back and talk some stocks too. I had a question on AMRN. All right, so this is a Marin. If I zoom out here, AMRN, this stock has gone nuts. Now, I personally don't follow this stock, and I purposely did not look up what they do, but it almost has like a drug feel or something to it. The stock goes from 4 to 24. That's not bad, but then it's gone nowhere ever since November a year ago. But what's happening now is the stock is, I would say arguably it has broken out now that it has cleared 24 bucks. You can see the longer term chart going back to 2000 and what is that, 11? So this could be also considered a monster bull flag and now a breakout. But nonetheless, it has closed at fresh new all-time highs. It is overextended in the short term. You go 18 to 24 in 3 days, but it is breaking out. The other one was PAA, PAA, 2 A's, not 3. This is Plains All American Pipeline. I do not follow this one either. Just looking back a few years, it was up at 60, now it's at 17. It seems like a lot of energy, oil type stocks have been in the, well, taken out behind the woodshed, if you will. But we did get a bounce on Friday, but there's no bullish engulfing. Volume's only up a little bit. So this thing would need to get above the red line at the very least, and the target is the orange. Because it could not get above the orange line, which is the 50-day SMA, that would be the spot for me to say, okay, it breaks that. We've broken a previous resistance point on a chart. Now the target would be the previous peak, which is up here. So for me, it's all about the 50-day. Check out FTCH. This is far-fetched, and I want to watch this one. If I zoom out, you can see it was 30 bucks back in March. It's now was just at 8, but we've gotten the pop, and it's closed above these previous highs. But here's the thing. While it's at 967 according to TradeStation, we get over this $12 area, there's a 50% upside target to 18, which is the gap fill. That's how much this stock got creamed on the way down. So I would say keep an eye on that one. As always, of course, it's always in a paper trading portfolio. Here is Teva. Now there's a lot of news out on this due to the drug situation, the addictions, the opioids, etc. Purely from a stock perspective, this is a rounded bottom. Some of the news I've read, they're getting close to settlements. Right now, the 20-day EMA is acting as support. On Friday, we're seeing bigger volume, all but one day there on the downside. We've closed by the previous high. That would put 12-ish and then probably up towards 14 as upside targets. Now, drug company, naturally it has some volatility with it. And then you have potential settlements, not settlements. Is it enough? Is it enough? I'm not saying it is or isn't, but the reaction of those traders to the stock could be volatility. That's what we don't know. But anyway, upside wise, looks interesting. How about GoGo? I got a question on this one. This is GoGo in flight. If you fly, U.S. airlines, I fly Delta a lot. GoGo's on Delta, but this thing's come way off its highs. It had a big surge here in September, and then on Thursday, if I zoom in, it broke the 50-day around $6. Now it's at 534. The target's back down towards 4. Yikes! That's like 30% lower. Nvidia came out with earnings. They held the red line, the 20-day EMA. If I zoom out, Nvidia is off its highs, but it's starting to make some traction. And if it closes, I would say this: if it closes back above these recent highs here, ballpark that's going to be looking around $212. This was such a vicious drop. We could make an argument and say somewhere north of 260 would be the overhead supply area. And then the number one stock I always get asked about is Apple. Bullish, bullish, and more bullish. How high can it go? With Apple acting this strong, and if you look at a lot of these candles, many of these days, when I say many, let me rephrase, the vast majority of these days, it's closing at the highs of the day, showing how much desire, appetite there are for shares of this stock. And the down days are lower volume than the up days. And even if the volume does spike, it's immediately reversed by big up days and stronger price action. If Apple starts to break and we get a big bearish engulfing candle on bigger volume, maybe like something back here, one of those volume spikes, ballpark, let's say 40 million plus shares, that would be the tell, I think, for the broad market. We might be getting ready for some consolidation or probably a pullback. So I think Apple's the tell. Just watch for volume to the downside. And plus, I'll highlight it in the video too, so we're all seeing it. But right now, man, it is just very, very bullish in the broad market. We're in the most bullish time of year for the next 4 weeks. The bulls usually take a break for the last 2 weeks. Then they re-energize as we get into January. So again, make sure you register for this event. It is completely complimentary. You'll see the top 10 stocks for year end, and they're going to get you set up for the new year too, because it is prime time. While last holiday season was bearish, when you go to January, holy macaroni did these stocks soar. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you in Wednesday's event. Wish you guys all the best, and again, happy holidays to you and yours. See you in the next video, folks. Take care.